Ê, có khi là bên cái học bổng nó gọi á. Vậy, có khi là bên cái học bổng nó gọi đưa em đi. Phải. À, ok, hết hồn. Sao nãy giờ chưa có ai cho vô phòng hết? Bị gì vậy? What's going on? Oh my god. Gì vậy? Không có ai gọi thì nói em thôi.
Hello, can you hear us?
Hello.
I think you're on mute.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you, but I cannot see you. Can you turn on the camera?
Yes. Excuse me, but I cannot hear you.
Recording in progress.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, but it's really small. I cannot hear it properly.
Could you try to turn on your volume a little bit more?
I'll check it right now.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah.
Is it better now?
It's still really small. I have like maxed out the volume, but
Can you hear me better than him or the
it's
same?
still really small.
Well, because I can hear everybody well, so it's probably, I think it's probably on your side.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to listen very carefully then.
Okay. So welcome to the interview. So my name is Ting. I am from the Vin Scholarship Program. And to begin the interview, I would like to check your identity.
Yes.
What is your full name?
Could you repeat that?
What is your full name?
Yeah, my full name is Nguyễn Trần Chí Hiếu.
And what is your national ID card number?
It's 07709900258
Okay, can you please show the card on the screen and put it close to the camera? Okay, and just keep it there. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Here. So welcome again to the interview. So today I will introduce the format of this interview. This interview will last up to 45 minutes, entirely in English. The professors will take turn to ask you questions. Should you have any question for us, please ask at the end of the interview. And joining with us today is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Charles Sahabi from the University of Southern California.
Yes.
Thank you. And Dr. Tu Nguyen from Vin University in Hanoi.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hello,
To begin the interview here, can you please introduce a little bit about yourself?
Yes. So I am a last year student at International University in Ho Chi Minh City, and my major is computer science, and I was born in 1999, and I come from Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu province, and I am applying for this for the hope that I can pursue a graduate program abroad. So thank you for having me in this interview. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much for your short introductions. Professor Sahabi, will you please begin the interview?
Sure. I was looking at your statements and CV, and there are a number of projects you worked on. One of them was kind of interesting to me. This was the project where you work on a recommendation system using both content-based filtering and collaborative-based filtering.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you kind of integrated the two and mentioned some math magic that you did to do so. Do you want to explain that a little bit more for me?
Yeah, well, that is actually a research assignment for the course Introduction to Data Mining at my university. Well, basically, it required us to find some solutions to apply in the context of recommendation systems. So in this assignment, I didn't implement those. I just try to understand and re-explain all of the techniques, the mathematics that are used in those in some certain uh, recommendation system. So I found out a recommendation system that existed a long time ago, and I tried to understand all of the mathematics formula in those techniques, and I tried to explain it again in my research assignment. And it's collaborative, uh, and I mean it's combined between filter based and collaborative based techniques. So basically what those means is that for the content based filter, I don't remember exactly the name of it because I did it quite a long time ago. But the main
Oh,
point
okay.
is that
So it's a content-based filtering and collaborative filtering. But if you don't
yeah,
remember it, that's okay.
yeah,
Do you wanna take another project that one of the other projects that you like and you still
yeah,
is fresh in your mind, maybe the chatbot
yeah,
or
yeah.
something else, and talk about that one?
I would talk about the chatbot because it's my current thesis, graduate thesis too, and I think it's easier to discuss about that.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So I'll explain my
So can
Okay,
you
go
tell me
ahead.
what that project was about?
yeah. So it is about I mean the model I used is like a combination between uh, hierarchical encoder decoder model in dialogue modeling systems and combined with variational autoencoder. So I mean conditional variational autoencoders. So the hierarchical encoder decoder model is very much like a sequence to sequence model that model dialogues, and it will try to generate responses that best model that's the best model the context of the ongoing conversation. And but basically that model is very much deterministic. So the responses that are generated from that model is it doesn't have much variation in the responses. So they introduce the variational autoencoder framework in order to make the generation process more varied, and because we have the latent variable incorporated into the system, so that generations will come from some specific distribution instead of not deterministic function. So that is the main idea of this of the architecture of my thesis. And currently I have finished implementing the I have finished coding and it is at the phase hyperparameter tuning. So I'm trying to tune the tune the hyperparameters so that I can come up with the best result. And so, is that satisfactory?
Sure. Did you have a course? Did you take any course that you learned about deep learning, like in your data mining course? Did they teach you deep learning, or this is something you picked up yourself?
Yeah, I learned all of them all by myself because at my university they don't have any subject that deeply explore those um, contents. Yeah.
Mhm. When uh, you, I was wondering if you can tell me a little bit intuitively how autoencoder decoder work. Not the variational one, just
Uh,
the basic autoencoder decoder.
yeah.
What's the idea there?
Yeah, yeah. So autoencoder originally is used in the um, I mean, it is used to like in the specific problems of dimensionality reduction. So it is the training, like uh, like the main purpose of it is like to reconstruct some input. For example, if we are given an image, then the autoencoder will try to reconstruct the image, and it will try to minimize the difference between the input and the reconstructed input at the output side. Um, so for the application of image
So
reconstruction,
it first they take the image, let's
yes,
say, and encode it into kind of a smaller,
yes,
compact representation, and
yes,
then reconstruct or decode it
yeah,
to the output. And then the optimization objective is that the reconstructed
yeah,
image is as close
yes,
to the original image.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
And then do you know how, I mean, since you're a math guru, how do they kind of enforce this kind of
Yeah,
nearness or closeness of what is reconstructed and what was the original?
yeah. So there,
How do
I
they
mean,
do that?
it depends on the application. So for the image application, it can use uh, cross entropy, or it can I mean it can use s- s- uh, square error. I don't know the exact term for it, but
Mean square error.
yeah, mean square error.
Right, mean square error, or any, basically any distance, right?
Yeah,
Any error distance between the two, you can try to minimize it. But how does the minimization work? Is it,
yeah,
I mean, how would you quote unquote train the model
yeah. So
to minimize that error?
yes. So like for I'm not really familiar with image processing, but in general, I think
I mean,
that
you can use your NLP or
yeah.
chatbot example. That's okay.
Okay, yeah. So in the application of natural language processing, uh, an autoencoder like try to reconstruct maybe a document or a sentence. So the uh, like the difference between the generated output and the input is maybe like cross entropy function, and that function represents um, the difference between the two, I mean the input and the reconstructed output, and that error is is a function, is some type of function of the inputs being the output and the input, and that error is is minimized by using like gradient descent uh, technique. It will find the second derivative of that loss function, and try to find the optimal point by setting that function to 0, and after finding out the optimal point, it will like the weights will be updated by a factor of a learning rate times with the optimal point that we have come up with before.
So very good. So you mentioned you basically in your statement you mentioned you use TensorFlow to implement BAE and AE, but it seems that you also understood how it worked. I mean, how because just I mean TensorFlow you can just use it and you don't care how it works. So how you ended up learning about this optimization and the cross entropy and so on.
Well, I just basically use the libraries that they provide us, and to be honest, I'm not that good in TensorFlow yet because for the previous projects, the main method that I use is to try to find out some source code and try to understand them. For example, my current thesis, I also found a source code, but the source code does not provide any explanation on their project. So I have to like understand what they're doing there, and I have to read the documentation on TensorFlow too to understand like all of the arguments used in specific functions. And yeah, but the source code is like problematic. They have a lot of mistakes, so I have to really understand the how TensorFlow works in order to fix it, to make it correct. Yeah.
So was it at the end? Was it successful? Your chatbot did it? Do you actually use it to
Yeah.
create any sentences and stuff?
Yeah. It is able to generate sentences, but like I've said before, I am still finding the correct hyperparameters. But so far, some sentences are like they are meaningful, and I also compare my current model with the original model in the papers, and I find out that the result of my current model is somewhat the same to the original paper, but I still want to make it better, so I still have to tune the parameters. Right? Yeah.
So this is the sentences and stuff is in English or Vietnamese?
Yeah, it's in English.
English. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I let Professor Nguyen to ask some questions as well.
Yeah, so I'm not expert on the chatbot and machine learning, but I just wonder if you want to use it model for Vietnamese, then how easy it is, and then what do you need to do?
In terms of Vietnamese, I actually don't have much experience in processing Vietnamese language, but I think there are basic libraries for us to like pre-process the Vietnamese data, and I think the difference between different languages, I mean like different languages, how to say it? I mean the main strategies can be applied in different languages, and if we switch to a different language, then we just need to like change how we pre-process the language, because each language has its own variation in terms of grammar and pronunciation, other stuffs. So I think the most important point is to correctly pre-process the data. So for Vietnamese, it would be like how to tokenize how to tokenize a sentence, because in Vietnamese we have two words that I mean Vietnamese have a lot of two-word phrase. Yeah, so So that's
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I see. I have another question. Like for the chatbot, how do you evaluate your model? How do you know it is good?
Yeah.
And how do you calculate the accuracy, for example?
Yeah. So I try to use the same evaluation method that are used in the original papers. So they use embedding based metrics. Uh, it basically judge um, the sentence that are generated by the model. Um, I mean, it generate the correctness of it by comparing the difference between the sentence generated and the true target sentence by using embedding based. Like it will transform the text to a data um, into vector, I mean embedding based representation vectors, and it will use like cosine similarities method to compare to find out the similarity between the generated responses and the ground truth target sentence. Um, yeah.
Okay, okay. So that's good. So uh, maybe let me switch gear to ask you some other non-technical question, and later on, Professor can ask you more technical questions. So
Yeah.
I see in your application you apply for master program, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So do you have a plan to do PhD, or what is your plan after you get a master degree?
Yeah, I actually include in a PhD program too because they also have a
Oh,
PhD program. But if I pursue master and finished master, I think that um, I would try to like go out to the industry to work a little bit before entering the PhD programs. Um, or but like if it is possible to uh, participate in the PhD in this scholarship program, then it's even better. I mean, my ultimate this goal is to achieve the high as possible. Um, so PhD will be like the last goal that I want to reach to, and like
okay. Yeah.
uh, after achieving the PhD, I would love to come back to Vietnam and to teach, to spread the AI knowledge to future generation too.
So if you come back to Vietnam, like which university you want to be a professor for?
Uh, I haven't thought of that. Uh, just I don't know. Uh, any like maybe Bách Khoa University or
Okay.
or even my university, International University. Yeah, I haven't thought of that much.
Do you think of joining a company to work on some big project?
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
something you interest as well?
I also have that in mind. Like I can either be a lecturer at university, or I can also join some institutes, research institutes like Vin AI Research or Vin Big Data or etc. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. So after graduated, if you have a chance to work in the US, do you
Yeah.
try to stay work in the US for some time? Or?
Well,
Actually, I realized that the schools that you pick for your master program, they're all in not in US.
yeah.
So you're not interested to come to US, or?
Well, actually, it's not the case because I have my relatives in around the universities that I picked, so that's my destination.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you are not applying any school in the US at all?
Yeah. Not at all.
You can,
Are
you
you,
can
so you're
study in
interested?
the US, right? And visit them during the summer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But for PhD, if you want to continue to PhD, are you considering U.S. university, or are you thinking continuing the same places?
Well, I think it depends on the. Well, I don't. I mean, if I pursue a PhD, then I will not consider being close to my relatives anymore. Like I could choose any school that I find um, best appropriate for my study. So it can either be in the U.S. or even any Asian country.
So it a little bit private, but relative, you mean immediate relative, like your parent or brother
Yeah.
or?
So
Okay.
these relatives is not relative by blood. I mean, those are just
Okay.
basically my friends, but their
Okay.
families and mine have very deep connection. Like we helped a lot throughout the in history, and
Okay. Okay.
yes.
Okay. That's good. So I've been doing and I got my PhD in California, USA as well. And based on my experience, study in PhD in the US is quite different from other university. And my suggestion, if possible, you should do PhD in the US
Yeah.
if you have a chance, and you should consider that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your
So,
suggestion.
Professor, do you want to ask him more technical question or I can
No, I
ask?
think technical question. I think I'm good.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So.
Do you want to ask him any question or? Yeah.
No, I'm fine. So Hugh, it is now your chance to ask us any questions.
Okay. I haven't prepared that. Let me think a little bit. I haven't thought of this. Um, uh, Maybe. Is it okay? I mean, I imagine myself in 5 years to be a mature researcher in the field of machine learning, natural language processing stuff, but I also have some concern about spreading the artificial intelligence knowledge to future generation, and specifically I think of making some YouTube content to like share these knowledge to other people on a free platform, because I think that artificial intelligence will definitely become an essential part. And currently in Vietnam, I haven't seen like in currently in Vietnam, I don't see the like it's not an essential part in Vietnam. Like many youngster, they don't have much knowledge about this field. So I really want to create some like free content on YouTube for ease access. And I don't think if that is good, because like YouTube content, uh, they they can make the YouTube content creators like spend too much time, or how to say this. I mean, is that appropriate, like to focusing on creating content on YouTube, uh, creating AI
What
content?
sort of content you're thinking? Are you thinking like training, like teaching AI
Yeah.
topics? Is that what you're thinking?
Yes.
But in Vietnamese maybe, or
uh
I think that would be great. I mean, especially for deep learning, which you said that there are not that much resources available.
yeah. uh So that's just
One
my
question I have actually, since you're asking question, so your English is pretty good, and I'm wondering, so the international university is the whole teaching is in English or
yes.
in Vietnamese?
Yeah,
In English.
all subjects in my school are taught in English.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have one more question since you're
Yes.
not asking question, I'm asking question. How about I mean, did you think of publishing papers about the projects that you've done? Like, for example, the chatbot.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Actually, upon finishing my graduation thesis, I will publish a paper. Like I am still on the process of writing the paper uh, with my supervisor too. So I really hope that it will be successful. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I just want to comment a bit on your idea of creating on YouTube. I think that is a great idea. You can try to teach like high school
Yes.
students how to learn AI, deep learning, and how application they can do, what application they can do with AI, machine learning. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's a great idea, and maybe you can try in Vietnamese
Yes.
for a majority of students. But
Yes.
to be careful, don't spend too much time on it because
Yes.
our main focus now is still learning.
Yeah.
So you can spend a few like 5-10 hours per week or so, but don't spend too much time on it.
Yeah.
That's it, boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
That's
my
why I
suggestion.
asked the question. Yeah. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for your sharing.
So do you have any other question for the panel?
Uh, Maybe no. I think that's all.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Hiếu. If you have
Thank
any
you.
questions, so you can feel free to send us an email. So we are available
Yeah.
to respond to your questions.
Yes.
Thank you for joining today's interview. The results will be sent to you via email, so please check your mailbox regularly.
Yes.
And we wish you good luck.
Yes. Thank you very much for having me in the interview today.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you, Hiếu.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hiếu, you
Bye,
can
bye.
leave the interview.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, xong rồi.